So yesterday I made a video to talk about the very smart deal Tinubu had with Soludo in Anambra State. This deal, I believe, would have had Mazi Nnamdi Kanu discussed. And also I mentioned a word about Peter Obi, but I've been getting so many backlash about that. Now, quickly listen to me and pay attention. Tinubu has overcome the Fulani'S. He has overtaken the Fulani'S in what we call tribalismo political, which is tribalistic politics. For a Nigerian president between the period of 2011 to today, all right, you to become the Nigerian president, you must, whether you like it or not, you must play to the tribalistic sentiments of the people that you are seeking for their vote. And let me show you. When Buhari wanted to become the president, within the period of 2012-2013, Buhari started visiting the East. In fact, Buhari became the Uwaneri Dina Mba. Uwaneri Dina Mba. He backed so many chieftaincy titles now. How he got it, maybe on merit, I do not know. But one thing is clear. The North have always been systematically doing this to pretend to be a part of those people whom they are seeking their vote. Right? When Atiku also wanted to go for elections, he got married to 3 wives. He got married to an Igbo woman, an Hausa woman, and then, of course, a Yoruba woman. In the last election, we saw that Atiku presented Titilayo. All right? Whenever he's trying to go to the western part of the country, he presents Titilayo. When he's going to the east, he goes with Titilayo, but he also ensures his Igbo wife comes with him. This is what they do. And my outcry to a Peter Obi is as simple as ABC. A Peter Obi, if he's not an agitator, then he must act like them, period. He must also begin to bag titles. He must come to the Yoruba land to be given some chieftaincy titles. If an El-Rufai can get a chieftaincy title from the Ijebu land, right? He got this from the Remo king. He was given a chieftaincy title called Bobaniyi, as you can see on my screen. Also, El-Rufai got another chieftaincy title from the Igbos. He got Ochi Udo. I don't know what that means, but I know it's a powerful name, Ochi Udo. So, why did I call people to be clear? He needs to rise up for the challenge, because the politics of 2027, unfortunately, will be a politics of tribalism. It is as clear as night and day, right? Because they will launch all manner of campaigns, push towards tribalistic agenda. A Tinubu who could come out and break that friendly handshake that we will never have a same religious ticket, even if we had mistakenly had it in 1993. But ever since 1999, we had that, though undocumented, but we had that friendly agreement amongst a silent agreement that when the president comes from the north, the vice will come from the south. If the president is a Muslim, the vice has to be a Christian. If the vice is a Muslim, then the president needs to be a Christian. Tinubu came on board and he broke that subtle agreement. So this is why I need to come out and say that Peter Obi needs to rise up and speak up. He needs to act. Let us push Peter Obi aside. Regarding Tinubu overriding the Fulani'S in terms of politics, is it not clear that Tinubu yesterday also went to the southeast and he bagged another chieftaincy title where he was given DK Simba. Okay, he was given DK Simba by the king of Anambra. So you have to see clearly that these chieftaincy titles are a tribalistic agenda for political gains. The Fulani'S are beginning to understand that Tinubu has unpacked their strategy. You know, I said that Buhari started this. When Buhari started going from Yoruba land, he went to the Yoruba land. He also bagged a chieftaincy title. I cannot remember. He went to the east. He got a chieftaincy title. He went to south. He bagged a chieftaincy title. Just recently, we saw how Tinubu got a chieftaincy title from the most revered king in Akwa Ibom State. This thing sends a very powerful signal to the traditional sentiments of the people. The Fulani's are saying, it seems this boy or this man named Tinubu has uncovered us. That chieftaincy title that Tinubu got yesterday in Anambra State is not just an ordinary chieftaincy title. Getting a DK symbol means a lot, and indeed, it sends shivers to the north. Because when the north try to come to you people, try to come to the west, just like Erufai, who has bagged Babaniyi, a chieftaincy title that Awujale gave him. Now, these are tribalismo Olympics, and we have to get the point right. This is why Tinubu today also went to Niger, which is at the middle belt, where he is bagging all manner of chieftaincy title all the way from southern Kaduna to Bogu Kingdom in Niger State, where he was given the Bogu, Jagabam of Bogu, Niger, and the whole of Nigeria. I think he's the only one that currently holds that chieftaincy title. But how do all these things really matter? It matters because you see all these minority groups, all these groups that have always felt denied and marginalized. When Tinubu visits them, he will say, I am part of you. And because I am part of you, I want a chieftaincy title. The northerners couldn't really penetrate that south, but Tinubu has done that. In fact, I am sure in the coming days, Tinubu might be conferred a chieftaincy title in Delta. He might be conferred an chieftaincy title maybe in Abia State. So you have to see clearly that Tinubu's agenda to unite the South, to run the tribal politics, to run that campaign that it is the turn of the South. In 2023, because we had the likes of Peter Obi in the race, he said it is the turn of the Yoruba. You can see that these things are clear. Nobody has come out. It was immediately after he made such statement that Atiku also went to the Arewa house in Kaduna to say that it is the time of the North, that the North have always been the Nigerian, pro-Nigerian people, and blah 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 blah. But Tinubu has said, I will also visit the minorities. Tinubu went to southern Kaduna. He went to he went to some places that have been tagged no-go areas while he was campaigning, and he was given a chieftaincy title. Okay, so for him to be doing all these things, he is sending signals. He is ensuring that the Yoruba kings give some northern elite some Yoruba chieftaincy title. This is what he has in his coffers, and this is what he might play come 2027. It is as clear as night and day. And if you cannot see it, unfortunately, I might not be able to convince you, because Tinubu has nothing to show that he has done to improve the economy of Nigerians. He definitely has nothing to brag about. He has nothing to campaign with. However, what he has, which is a deadly weapon, and for as long as it has not been banned in Nigeria, it remains a very potent weapon. And that weapon is religion and our tribes. You know that one thing again, let me tell you how Tinubu wants to do it. Categorically, the Yorubas are so very sentimental about Awolowo. The same thing, the North are very sentimental about Sardauna of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto, and indeed Tafawa Balewa. For the Yorubas, they are for the Igbos, they are so sentimental towards Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, towards Odumeje Ojukwu. But as at today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to a large extent, is a rallying point for 50 to 60% of the Southeasterners. For the South, they have their own too. So you will see that Tinubu's agendas are clear. Into 2027, Tinubu will begin to run campaigns that are similar to Awolowo. You start showcasing the symbols and the slogans of Awolowo. Into 2027, if Tinubu wants to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, he has every right and capacity. But I don't think he will do it yet. He wants to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a bargaining chip. And when the North, and in this instance when I talk about North, remove the middle belt, which is today's North Central. His agenda is, if I can give back Kanu, if I can pretend or I present myself as the Awolowo of the Yorubas, right? If I can tell the middle belters that they should not or they cannot be a subject of the Northern Fulani'S, I should be able to get the numbers of votes that will catapult me into the next term as a president. It is just as clear like night and day. That is why when I made the video yesterday, when so many people were, targeting me, saying that I should take away Peter Obi from my mouth, I do not mean to insult Peter Obi. It is only a nudge, a push that a Peter Obi must understand that while the Ramadan was going on, he went to the mosques, he had with the Almanjiris. Now that the Ramadan is out, if he wants to have a fair share and a good shot at the presidency, because of being someone that I admire and I like. But right now we are political. However, if Peter Obi wants to have a great shot, he must begin to bag chieftaincy title from the Emir of Kano, from the Sultan of Sokoto, and then indeed he has to go to the middle belt and bag a chieftaincy title. He has to come to the Yoruba land and bag a chieftaincy title. This could be from the Alaafin of Oyo, this could be from the Oni of Ife, this could be from the Awujale of Ijebu, Remo land. He needs these chieftaincy titles because Nigerians today are tribalistic people. This is why you see anybody who is in power will always ensure that it is a tribe man that is there. This is why you see that when Tinubu came on board without any delay and effect, he released Sunday Igboho. And of course, there has been so many arguments that he released Sowore because he is also a Yoruba man. So you see that Nigerians are tribalistic, and the Igbos must understand that they need, most especially the supporters of Peter Obi, that the need for Obi to start bagging chieftaincy titles cannot be underestimated. And indeed, Tinubu has captured almost all the magnanimous and the high-ranking titles in the north. He also went to the southeast. He has been given a new title called DK Simba. He has bagged, I saw a video one time with Tinubu and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's father. I saw the man wearing a red cap for him. I am sure he must have conferred some blessings and of course maybe a name for him. So it is clear that Tinubu will run a politics of tribalism, and indeed do not like this, because they alone think that they can be the only one that will understand the weak point of every tribes, and they have always played into that sentiment. They are angry because Tinubu has seen this and he's now deploying it, just as we saw yesterday that he got an overwhelming support, and indeed immediately Atiku went on the streets of Abuja to protest with the supposed supporters. Well, let's watch this video together. Bye.
No, this security you know, but I make it now for mad every day. So, this security to Obodo. Again, no, this security to Obodo, I never make it happen. Again, motor will go in Navia. Okay, we go down pass. Can you go to Tinubu? Again, okay, we go. Okay, then I want to go. Okay, you don't pass. Okay. Motor car was one no. Motor was one no. You know, okay, go Konoka, Gala, motor will go no. Always go motor one no, because. Hey. Yeah, all this security in Obodo and they make it happen. And my son has security hard run. Security on a game with a go over. Again, Mandem Molepa. When we go, Tinubu will go now. I can't go. Again, you ain't got some motor. Or some motor do you ain't care because. All right. I want the more. Brother Dalu, no way do. Again, the big one. Motor car was one no. And Chakwalova knows her. Emma and Alibu. Always when they me on a barrack, hey, Okota Kalekwan. So Tinubu agawe ga yamala nke over oluzi ekwe ma ole die za yamalu jo duko nya security wa ni ne obo ye ka na eche o ona reso na Tinubu wa gakwa anyway sha ikedom nje ekwe eme luzi ekwe eme nkowa alu.
We don't have powers to make laws for states and local governments, so we may, Mr. President, go into this and look at it more.
One section tells you that we don't have powers to make laws for states and local governments. Because what I know legally, by the Constitution, is that any law that is enacted by a state or a bylaw by the local government, which is inconsistent with an act of parliament at the national level, is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency.
Make laws for states. That's why you have state houses of assembly.
No, we do.
Legislation for Nigeria, which includes the subnationals. So I'm not sure whether, I don't know the problem that Senator Tambo has on this part, in regard to this particular aspect. Also, you recall that we sat here and do ICPC and do EFCC. And the state was not comfortable, and they took this matter to court. And the Supreme Court said, no, the National Assembly has powers to do laws, regardless of the subnationals. So I think we are comfortable here, unless there are other legal minds that will say constitutionally we cannot, but the court, the Supreme Court said we can, and I think we should.
The ranking legal mind. From my head alone, I know that we can make laws that will bind the states and local governments. If there are areas we cannot, the Constitution will separate those areas. But on areas of there are exceptions. On areas of concurrent jurisdiction.
Second schedule of the Constitution, which is the exclusive legislative list. Subsection 59 is clear. It says, taxation of incomes, profits, and capital gains, except as otherwise prescribed by this Constitution.
Please start again.
I said that with respect to what Senator Tabua has said, the powers of the National Assembly are stated in the second schedule, part 1, exclusive legislative list. And subsection 59 says we have powers to make laws for taxation of